So it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield. I didn't officially meet Kevin Miller until, I would say, the fall of 2020, sometime around October, November of that year, right after I had moved back home to Arkansas after spending 3 years in Texas. And this was around the time I moved back in March of 2020, right around the time when everybody thought the world was ending because of COVID. And, we're all just trying to figure out our own things to do while social distancing. And that's pretty much what I went back to doing, what I always do. And that is some sort of sports and sports coverage. And at that time, I was very, very green, still fairly new, but was very green in the business, and really was just trying to form connections, was trying to just get to know coaches, all those different things. And I received a direct message from Kev on, again, it was sometime around October, November of 2020, and it was on Twitter. And it basically just said, hey, I do a lot of sports, and I had heard of him before, just kind of watching some video clips on social media and all those things. And he gave me his number, and we hopped on a call. And I'll be honest, I was kind of a little bit confused because I'm like, why is this guy that I don't know? And I really, this is the first time I've ever talked to him in my life. Like, what is it why would he want to help me? Like, what business does he have doing that when he's trying to build his own brand and all these different things? And I quickly realized once we got off the call and once I continued to get to know him, that Kev had probably the biggest servant heart of anybody that I've ever met. He's up there with the best of them. And that's just meaning not only in sports, but just being a friend to somebody, whether that was at his job, of course, with his family that he loved so dearly. He was just a servant anywhere that he went. And he was a great encourager to me. And I can't tell you how many times that I felt like I was maybe fed up with this business. We deal with a lot of things and don't get paid very much for it. So I cannot tell you how many times I would give him a call and just really vent. And every single time it was, remember why we do this. And he would remind me, and he was kind of my voice of reason, for lack of a better term. And really from that point on, we just continued to get stronger and stronger. And we did a lot of things together, also alongside many of the people that are involved in coordinating this event. And after he had put together, he kind of was the leader in putting together the basketball media days that went on last October. And of course, the next thing that we had in mind was football. And unfortunately, he passed away 4 months after the basketball media days, and he didn't get to see this come to fruition. But I have no doubt that Kev is smiling down right now just because of not only this event, but the team camp and just the way that people have honored his memory. Man, it's just been so overwhelming to see people that knew him well, that maybe didn't know him much at all, but just knew the impact that he had on so many different people. And that's the reason why we're gathering here today and also Thursday and Friday, is to do the things that he loved to do in his honor, because at the end of the day, that's really, other than, again, his family and his work, that was right up there with the most important things. Important things to him was bringing coverage and bringing exposure to the state of Arkansas, to our athletes. It didn't matter whether you were the last one off the bench or you were a blue chip 5-star recruit or a NBA lottery draft pick projection in the next few years in basketball. It didn't matter to him. He wanted to help anybody that he could. And I'm so thankful for the friendship that he had, or that I had with him. And just that I had the chance to know him. I only had a chance to know him very closely for about 4.5 years. But hopefully through events like this and things in the future where his name is involved, that will just continue to help his legacy live on and on and on, when those of us that are helping continue that go on are no longer here either. So I want to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I want to thank First Community Bank for their hospitality, for the amazing hosts that they have been to us, and all of our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors that have really stepped up and been a big part of this event. So we thank you so much. And again, thank you to those who are watching and following this and also understanding the reason why we do it. I hope you all enjoy these next 3 days. It's going to be a great honor being able to welcome over 60 teams from across most parts of the state of Arkansas. And hopefully this will just turn into something bigger and bigger each year. Thank you all so much. And I hope you enjoy this event. It's going to be a packed 3-day extravaganza that we are so excited about.
All right, starting in session 2, we've got the Conway Wampus Cats. They're represented by head coach Buck James, along with Grayson Wilson, Jacoby Wade, Griffin Sherrod, and Trez Hammond. Coach James, you want to go ahead with your opening statement? You got floor is yours.
Well, appreciate you having the Conway Wampus Cats here. It's a great opportunity to showcase these young men, but also our football team. And we've come a long ways in the 1 year that we've been there, and our kids have worked extremely hard. We're a lot stronger football team than we were this time last year. I think the biggest thing is that our football team is young, and where we are experienced, we are where we do have some older guys. We're not very experienced, and so it's going to be a work in progress. I think our program's headed in the right direction. I really like the way our junior highs starting to come around. We went to one junior high school, and doing that, we've more than doubled our numbers. I know that's pretty hard to believe, but we had about 50 to 65 kids playing last year. We're up to about 100 ninth graders and about 120 eighth graders. So, I think the future looks good. I think these guys here that I brought today are all accomplished football players, all had great years, leading up to this year. And I feel like we've got the right ingredients. We just got to be able to play better, play with a better football IQ, and do some things on the field in timely situations to give us a chance to win big ball games. Last year, we were 1 or 2 plays away from having a chance to play for a state championship. And our football team has got to learn from some of those things. And as we grow as a team, I think our experience will get better, and I think our football team will have a chance to have great success the longer that we stay in the game.
So, Grace, I want to go ahead and ask you a question. Obviously, the elephant in the room, you coming from CAC. How do you handle the athleticism and jump from 4A to arguably the toughest conference in all of Arkansas, the 7A Central?
Yeah, so it's been challenging at the beginning, but really just football's football, and I still, with Coach Howard, the same offensive coordinator that I had at CAC, he's the quarterback coach now, so he's really just been with me every step of the way. And then Coach Kelly, the offensive coordinator, he's done a lot of great things, and they've really just acclimated me well to the offense, and I've been able to succeed so far. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Coach James, I wanted to mention, you got one returning starter on offense. I know you got a lot of talented but just kind of unproven receivers, but you're really high on your offensive line. I know you got 2 tackles that are really good that you've mentioned to me, but excuse me, I got something in my throat. Just kind of talk about that unit up front with those 5 guys and some of the things that you expect from them.
Well, Coach Gavin Del Santos has done a tremendous job. I think ever since he came to Conway, the mentality on the offensive line has changed, but we have a really young offensive line and very inexperienced. Isaiah Bowman is the only one who played a lot last year, and he returns at right tackle. And then we have Kingston Jackson, who 6'6", 315, that has really shown a lot of potential. And I think as he grows, I think the rest of our guys around him will make a big difference. I think we have a chance to start every guy up there would be a 500-pound squatter and a 300-pound bencher, and so that's a tremendous difference from this time last year. And so with a talented backfield and our guys can play at a high level, I think those guys got a chance to be able to keep us in some ball games, and we can grind out the tough yards that we weren't able to do last year.
And Grayson, I wanted to add on, last year you were if you were the guy at CAC, obviously you were the guy, but I mean, if you were to go down, then it would have been kind of tough to figure out what was going to happen. Well, you got a really good quarterback there on the roster too, in Wesley Tapp. Talk about the competition, that's made both of you guys better throughout the summer as you're learning the offense.
Yeah, so that's new to me this year, and I've really enjoyed it, but it'll get me ready for the next level. And really what we've done so far, we've done a lot of 7-on-7 and team camps. We haven't really done full pads, so I mean, we've been able to do things that it's good for a quarterback being able to read the defense. But I think when the season comes around and we start practice and we're able to be in full pads and everything, that's when they really get to see who the guys are.
And Coach, flipping over to the other side, I mentioned just the one returning starter on offense. You got about 7 or so on defense, so a lot more there. Talk about just how that side's continued to progress just kind of as we go into 2024.
Well, we got our entire defensive backfield is back. And Jacoby and Trez, Noah Files, and Benz. Tice Carr, yeah. Tice Carr, those guys return, and they all did a great job last year. They're not, just great big, tall guys in stature, but every one of them can run. They're very physical. They're tenacious, and I think it starts on the back end for us. I think it'll be tough to throw the football. We've just got to grow up on the defensive line. We lost anything, we lost it up there. We're big and strong enough. We've got 2 of our 3 linebackers back. Defensively, should be where we take off and play well early. We haven't particularly done that this summer. We've given up a lot of rushing yards, I thought, this summer. But I thought 7-on-7 wise, I thought our defense played really, really well. And so we've got to keep growing up. We've got to understand what our roles and our jobs are. And, I feel like our defense can be the strength of our football team, which gives you a chance to have a good football team.
And, the guys that were on the team last year, obviously you guys had another great season, kind of just, kept the momentum going from Coach Temple. But now, Coach James obviously came in late there around early June, late May. So now that you're going into year 2, that culture, what's expected. Just kind of talk about how that's gone for you guys.
With Coach James, he came from winning. Like, he wants us to win. And we really didn't have that much of like a challenge with Coach Temple. And Coach James challenged us in the weight room to get better every day. Like, the weight room completely changed. Everything changed about the weight room. And that's pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is just how hard we've been working. Obviously, with Coach Temple, it was way different. Like Jacoby said, our weight room was entirely different. We brought in Coach Jordan, our weight training coach, who's just an outstanding coach. So I think really we've just been working a lot harder than we have in previous years.
And I know I wasn't there last year, but one of the first things that I noticed whenever I came is there's like a standard, and everyone, even the guys that that probably won't get that much playing time on the team, they're still working as hard as almost the guys who are the starters. Everyone works hard, and that's really what I see. And then another thing about like the defense, he was talking about it, our secondary. I think that's probably the highlight of our team right now. I'd say so we go to like 7-on-7s and stuff, but I'd say the hardest time for a quarterback, it's going against our defense in practice. That's when I get the most challenge.
Okay, speaking of the challenges and everything, so over the summer, individually, what have each one of you been working on to get better for this season?
I'd say my biggest thing is just weight training and trying to master my craft on the D-line. That's my biggest thing. I've been working real hard in the weight room, trying to get as strong as I can. I think we have one of the strongest D-lines in the state, and we're we're working on that every day to make sure we keep getting stronger every day. That's the biggest thing.
I'll say my biggest thing is catching the ball. I know we need to bring picks. We need to bring turnovers to the defense. Turnovers is a big thing and a big thing of football, And so I just got to get ready to make picks and make plays for the defense and all. That's my biggest thing I got to take to the next season.
Trez was the fastest guy in 7A last year. He ran a 10,500 meters. And so, that says a lot. And all these guys can run with him, all those guys in the defensive backfield. So, we're going to try to play Trez and Jacoby both on offense this year to give us a lot bigger boost into receiver core. But both of those guys can run with anybody in the state of Arkansas. And so I think that's something that will help us as well. And I think we have enough possession receivers. We just need some guys that can stretch it. And I think Trez and Jacoby will be able to do that for us.
Speaking of Jacoby, why don't you talk a little bit about, bonding with Grayson, coming over, or what all you guys did in the summer to get better, running routes, get your timing good, and then Grayson, to follow up on that, why don't you address all the other receivers that you have in your core? Because I know, just like Coach mentioned, you've got a lot. Why don't you talk about all those other guys?
Well, going from Donnie, a left-handed quarterback who knew the offensive system, he knew everything, like every little thing about the offense. It's different knowing that Grayson has to get his timing down with every receiver. So it's different from me and everyone else going and practicing with him. So before he even made it to the school or came to one of our practices or anything like that, me and him and a couple receivers were already throwing the ball around and running routes. And we've talked outside of football. We've talked outside of football, just trying to build more chemistry, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is just trying to get timing with my receivers. That's one thing that I've been working on this summer is just knowing Trez, Jacoby, they've got speed, and then different guys can jump high, and it's just stuff like that. Jaden Gaines is he's one of our outside receivers, and he'll probably start this year. And he's a returning guy, right?
He's the only returning starter we have, Jaden Gaines.
Okay, so just different guys like that. Blake Kordsmeyer, he looked really good in the 7-on-7. We got Max Owen. He's a big, tall guy who'll probably play some in the slot. And just different guys trying to get on time. That's what I've been working on, just trying to get timing with the guys.
All right. Anybody else got anything? All right, fellas. Appreciate y'all coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
I didn't officially meet Kevin Miller until, I would say, the fall of 2020.
All right. Up next, we have the Watson Chapel Wildcats. They are represented by head coach Steve Hurd, along with Tariq Connor, McIrvin Bagby Jr., Malachi Rayford, and Braylon Bennett. Coach, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you for your opening statement.
Yeah, like we said, I'm the new coach of Watson Chapel High School. It was an honor to be here. This is the first time I did one of these. So I'm just looking forward to the experience, looking forward to getting my guys the exposure that they truly deserve. And we just on to bigger and better things.
And, it goes without saying that it's been some tough times at Watson Chapel. One win in the past few years, but, you came from helping Pine Bluff get back on its feet. I know that you were under Michael Williams, so just kind of talk about the impact that he had on you. I know that he was really happy to come back home, so helping them get back to where they did as far as reaching the semifinals and touching success again. Talk about what that was like and how it prepared you for this.
Well, coaching at a program like Pine Bluff High School historically, it was great. It was great. You have a vast array of support with that program. And Coach Williams came in, hit the ground running. He's an alumni from there, and I think he was the right person for the job at the time. I came in with him. We just went to work immediately and tried to restore Pine Bluff back to what it once was. And I think he's going to do a great job continuing that same thing going forward. And I thought he taught me a few things as far as I thought I was ready before to be a head coach, but he taught me a lot about just the things about exposure and promoting your program at all times. Whether it be social media, in the community, because we know with successful programs, you won't see too many successful programs without a community support.
Malachi, I'd like to hear from you. You've been in the program. You were running a read option wing tee prior. Now, now a new coach comes in, you're going to spread it out and throw it all over the place. Talk to us about that transition of going from a read option wing tee to now you're in a spread.
Yeah, it's different. Like at first, we was mostly just run front, throw the ball maybe like once or twice a game, but now we spread, option, we jet. We got a lot of new depth in the receiver group now, so we got guys who can rotate. We got long receivers, fast receivers. We just a lot of variety in the receiving group now. So yeah, it's gonna be nice.
So I also wanted to ask the players too. So like I mentioned a second ago, it's tough to endure tough times, I guess I should say. But when you're at this point, there's really nowhere to go but up. So what are some things as far as changing the culture that Coach Hurd has done? Also on the coaching staff that just has kind of put you guys in the position to start turning some of that into wins.
Just him showing that he cares and he appreciates us. I feel like the coaches we had in the past they didn't really care about the players and how to get us better, but he coming with a new weight room, new plays, like a different spread, like he was talking about. We're not in no wishbone or anything, so he's just showing that he cared. And yeah.
And with that, Coach Hurd came in, he always talked about how we was going to set a new standard and do things different. We was a new Watson Chapel. And with that, the team embraced it, and we all bought into the system, and it's just been great ever since he just came into the program and helped us out.
Well, first of all, this is my first year starting, but when he came in, he basically changed everything from where we started from. We started from doing how can I explain? We was doing the weight room. I can explain the weight room. Okay, so the weight room, we was doing mostly heavy stuff, but he came in and starting getting our bodies right with the auxiliaries and different other types of lifts. And he more so really all about the weight room mostly. He be like, the weight room come first and the field come last.
Coach, I'm sure you kind of have some of the on-field stuff figured out coming in. You know what you want to do and what you want it to look like. What's maybe the biggest surprise challenge you've had in the short time you've already been in this job that you maybe didn't expect coming in?
Well, I think it wasn't a lot things I was surprised about. But I think the one thing that I was really shocked about is how fast the players bought in, and how they listen. You know, if you think of on the outside looking in as a program that's struggling, you kind of have a preconceived notion about what the kids are and what they're doing and how the systems are ran. But when I came in, I just let them know what I was all about. You know, just like I said, my thing of loving on them, and they took it right away and they took off. And just you'll be surprised how much a kid wants to win. And he wants to win for the coach, for his community, and they really do care. They really do care. We went from being at the end of their season last year, being in the low 20s, and we're well over 55 to 58 players now. And I mean, there's nothing I did. You know, we haven't even won a game. It's just I think it's the systems that we put in place. You know, me loving on the kids and them letting his teammates know that it's a different thing going on at Washington Chapel, and they came back running. And since I've been there. There's not one thing that I asked the kid to do that he even question me about. He just, yes, sir, and we got it done. And I just see how hard they work. They really, really do work hard. I believe in, I'm not talking about the old program or the old coaches. I just feel that you should put your program around the kids, not the kids in a specific, system. Because, as coaches know, players come and go. And one year you might have all skill, and the next year you might have all big guys. So your systems have to change. As what you running has to change. Like I've told you, I don't just coach X's and O's. I coach young men and their behaviors. And once we get that right, we get the weight room right. Hey, it can only lead to success on the field.
Coach, with you coming in and implementing a new system, what's some of the questions that you're looking to answer heading into the regular season?
The question we're looking to answer, well, the number one question in Pine Bluff is, what are we going to do against Pine Bluff High? That's the number one question. That's the question I'm looking to answer. And I think my guys they're up to the task of taking on that big challenge. From having not so good of success the last few years, we don't have, and I'm very transparent with my players. I'm not saying we're going to go win the state championship, the first year or in the first 2 years, but it's a process. And we starting over. You have to lay that foundation first. We do have to lay that foundation first. So we set realistic goals. We do set realistic goals, and they know, okay, you don't go from not winning the game to playing in War Memorial. It's a process you have to go through, and our seniors are up for that. They're up for that challenge. And the questions it's not what everybody else does. The questions we want to answer is what are we to ourselves? Are we really bought in? Are we doing things the right way? The things that I preach every day, I preach about life, and I preach about the things they need to be doing away from football. And I think when you take care of that, then football will take care of itself. So the questions we need to answer is the question within ourselves, not from the outside of what the state doing. Because in our minds, nobody else matters except black and gold.
And talking about building that foundation, I think it's around like 10 or 11 total returning starters that you do have. And to the outside world, you might think, oh, big deal, like they didn't win a game last year. But really, if you look at the flip side of it, that is a big deal, because you come in, they can kind of tell you, okay, here's what we were struggling with, here's what we need to work on. So how big was that for those guys that had experienced what was going on as far as helping you set your culture?
Oh, it was really big, because like I said, football wasn't fun for them, for the last few years. And my first goal is for our seniors to have an enjoyable, senior year. For the vast majority of football players, their last high school game is the very last time they'll play football. So I want our guys to, focus on having a great season, having fun while we're going through this season, so they can have, enjoyable memories to talk about when they're my age. We're sitting around the water cooler, or sitting at work, and that nature. It's just, having all those returning starters or always returning players, people are going to underestimate that because they was winless, or we was winless last year. But they are very deep at the skill position. But when you're running wing T, it's maybe 1 or 2 receivers on the field at the time. People don't know that we have 6, 7, or even 8 receivers that can really play ball. They can really, really play ball. And our junior high, our 9th graders going about to be 10th grade, They forgot they were 9-1, 10-1 last year, and they won conference by a big margin, and they're going to help us out a lot. They are used to winning. They had a winning culture. It's just we're going to translate that to the high school program.
All righty, guys. We appreciate you coming up.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right. Up next, we got the Cutter Morning Star Eagles. They are represented by head coach Nick Finley, along with Peyton Mills, Drew Gonzalez, Aiden Sober, and Michael Sexton. Coach, I will go ahead and give it over to you for the opening statement.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing us to be here. It's always great to talk about our Cutter Morning Star Eagles and the direction we're going and the process we've made over the last couple of years since arriving there. But yeah, I got Drew Gonzalez. All my guys here are seniors. Drew Gonzalez, Peyton Mills, Aiden Sober, Michael Sexton. These guys are what kind of your definition of leaders on our football team, making sure they're doing the right things. So give them opportunity to come up here and talk about our program, where we've been, where we came from, some adversity we go through. But at the same time, our program's heading in the right direction. Getting there, it was kind of one of those things that a lot of people know when I arrived at Cutter Morning Star. Summer practices, and Peyton can probably tell you, 7 players, so school started, ended up with 10. We went 0-7 the first season there. But then we hit the offseason. Got some other guys out, ended up the next season having 35 players, which ended up being the school's highest football team, number of players on a football team. And so, we had to buy some equipment, thanks to our school district for able to buy more uniforms and everything else to outfit these kids. And being an 8-man football, numbers are, a thing. So kind of coming in there with 35 guys that made for a great season. We went 6-3, made the semifinals of our club division in 8-man. Had a lot of success, a lot of comeback wins, had a couple games where, you could call it a miracle. But at the same time, our guys work hard. And they deserve every bit of success they get. This year, we're moving up from 8-man to 11-man. So we got out of the cycle. We have 42 players on our roster right now. So for a 3A level school, I think that's really great. Gives us a lot of depth, but at the same time, there's a lot of growing process. I mean, you're adding 3 more guys. I'm sure we'll get some questions about 8-man to 11-man transition, but you're adding more guys to the field and you're having to teach more technique. So, we're a little bit behind in areas, but that's what hard work's for. You got to work hard to be able to get those guys ready to have success on a Friday night. But I'm just excited about our new direction and where we're going, and excited about these guys and the plays they're going to make this year.
Peyton, I'm going to address this question straight to you, right? You're a quarterback going from 8-man. It's wide open. It's fun to watch. I like to call it arena football. Now you're going to 11. Talk to us about what you and your guys did in the summer to really get ready and prepare for that.
Well, really, we just kind of did the normal thing any other team would do, like what we did last year. I mean, it's very similar stuff, except we're just kind of having to learn more coverages in 11-man. You know, I'm having to learn more since in 8-man, basically, it's mostly just cover 1, maybe cover 3. But now I'm just having to learn a whole lot more coverages, and that's basically what I've been working on. Then our guys, you know, we just been working on putting our plays that we had in 11-man into 11, or had an 8-man put in 11-man, and I think it's pretty easy for them since we've been running it so long, and basically it's all it's adding is 2 linemen and a running back in there. But you know, we've just been working hard, and I think we're going to do pretty good this season. Coach, you kind of mentioned you're maybe behind in some of the areas. Can you kind of go a little further into, you know, what those areas are and what you need to do in the next month or so to kind of, you know, get up to speed for week 0?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, all my career, I've been a defensive coordinator or defensive-minded guy, you know, played defense in college. So, you know, transitioning to 8-man, you know, had to make that transition to offense. And so, you know, had to create a system with a throwing quarterback. So we went spread. But at the same time, the biggest thing that was a struggle for us that we've got to really get into is our defense. You know, 8-man defense is tough. You're out leveraged a lot of the times. It's obviously an even number instead of an odd, so you're able to position things in certain ways. But with 11-man, we get kind of back to, you know, my scheme that I've ran with Coach Patton and everywhere, I've kind of been as a coordinator, 3-4 style defense, kind of narrated and kind of was kind of gave me some light bulb ideas from Coach Keith Fimple when he was at Conway, which at the time, before he went to Conway, he was up at Springdale Harbor. So got to sit down with him and create that defensive side part. But, you know, outside linebackers for our defense are going to be the biggest, thing of learning. They got to know the coverage. They got to know the blitzes. They got to know what the fronts was. Is there a defensive end that's in my way, that a gap I'm blitzing? They got to be able to make check calls and everything else. Their inside linebackers got to do the same. Our biggest thing right now is just making sure our communication is key on every bit of our defense and also on offense. Just like what Peyton said, we've had to get used to new coverages. We got to get used to seeing things from another side of making sure that we are doing things that we recognize a certain coverage or we recognize a certain weakness that we can be able to exploit and be able to have success in. So, adding 2 linemen, we're having to get linemen ready to where we were 3 linemen spread in 8-man, but at the same time, the next thing there is now we got to get, a full set of line ready and backups ready. So, the depth of being able to stand a season with 5 linemen, we've got to have guys step up and get more experience. So we're excited about the transition. 8-man was great for us in building our program and having some success, but I think right in front of us is an opportunity for us to even go even further. This last season, we were the 4th team in school history to make a playoff. We're still looking for, in our school history, a playoff win. So for us to be we're looking, and there's never been a team that went back-to-back playoffs. So we got a lot on the line. I keep telling these guys, you got a chance to be the best football team that's ever came through Cutter Morningstar history. And changing the perspective of our program to to our county, to the state. This ain't the Cutter of old. We got new facilities. We got turf. We got, obviously, I think about 5 to 6 jersey combinations. That don't mean much, but at the same time, though, that's never been, anything for these guys that came before us. So we're trying to do something different and try to put our program out there and be able to do something new and change some minds, saying like, hey, Cutter is a place that I'm, got to respect a little bit. So we're not the doormat anymore. So, just kind of interested to see how these guys attack the field this year and have some success.
So, Coach, yes, you do move up to 11-man. What are your thoughts on the 4-3A, which is the conference y'all are going to?
A lot of familiar faces. I graduated from Magnet Cove, so, I'm going to get to play my alma mater this year for the first time in my coaching career. But at the same time, Glen Rose, lost a lot of, pretty much a senior class that took them deep in the playoffs. But I got a huge respect for Steven and Coach Keener and all those guys over there. But they have a huge tradition. I played against kind of when the tradition started when Coach Elmore got there. So it's carried out through that 15 to 20 years of just playing Glen Rose football. So they're going to be really good. Perryville's going to be really solid. looking at Jesseville, being, a really good team, and everybody else. I mean, had a radio interview the other day, and they were like, well, you pretty much got every team circled on your schedule. Of like, yeah, because we got a lot to prove. There's a lot of teams that are circled to me on our schedule, but it's just an opportunity for us to be able to showcase what we have. I think everybody's kind of looking at us as, they're an 8-man team that's just coming from 8-man to, they're going to be a doormat again when they get to 11-man. And I'm here to say that's not going to be the case. We got a lot of great kids, a lot of good kids with character. Our offense is going to be one of the toughest to prepare for by as many stuff we do. Kind of was watching earlier this morning, Kevin Kelly kind of said it the best is, we're going to do about 1 million things, and people got to be able to prepare for it. And that's one thing I've carried as being the defensive coordinator. What do I not like to see? And what I've done is what I don't like to see, I put it on in our offense to be able to have some success. And it's been great. I mean, Peyton's seen a lot of success with it. I mean, he's 4,600 yards throwing his sophomore and junior year. He's looking to break, 7,000 to 8,000 this year. So, huge opportunity in front of us. But by any means, we're going to have to do work in our conference. And I think we got some good preseason games to be able to set us up for our season in our conference.
I'm going to follow up on exactly what you said, Coach, but I'm going to address to your players. You said we're going to do 1 million things. I want to hear from Michael and Aiden and Drew. Aiden, you can start off. You playing 8-man. I'm going to make an assumption here. You probably played all over the field, multiple positions, multiple alignments. Is that going to transition into 11-man, or you three skill players, or your role is going to be a little more defined?
I think it'll definitely be like different. The roles will still probably be the same, and I mean it'd be just the same. It just bigger field and just more people.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all it's still football. Either way, 8-man, 11-man, it's still football. We go out there and play backyard ball either way. I mean, we're going to love football. We're going to give it our all. We're just going to play as a team, balanced either way.
I think our roles will be more defined because, as Coach said, we have a lot more players this year, and we're not just looking at a certain amount of skill guys. We have multiple amounts of depth. Our receiving core, we have multiple receivers that can go out and make a play, and multiple DBs, safeties. So I think our roles will be more defined, and we won't be looking at 2-4 guys to make a play on offense or defense.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot. I think it'll be a lot easier, especially for our defense, because coming from 8-man, in my opinion, I think it's harder for the defense for coverage-wise because you got probably maybe 4 or 5 people in coverage, and now in 11-man you're going to have like maybe 6 people in coverage, but they're like you can play any type of coverage in 11-man, and I think it's just going to be a lot easier for our defense because we've struggled a lot in defensive-wise for these past 2 years that I've been there. But, I think on offensive-wise, I think we're going to continue to produce like we have been because, I mean, with Coach Finley's play calling and his, I guess, just his smarts, it will definitely help us out. But I think we got it for sure.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off Peyton, I mean, you kind of answered, asked the question about millions. Defensively, we're going to be able to scheme and be able to do some things, 4-man, 5-man, 6-man blitz concepts. So we're, trying to tie into those. But offensively, in and out of formations, pre-snap, post-snap, be able to get a play in quick. So our biggest thing right now is can we get a lot of this, what we said, million things that, kind of what Kevin said, but at the same time, be able to simplify to where we can do things at a fast pace and be able to blend everything in to where we're not confused and we're able to do certain things.
Okay, Coach, I heard you saying something about the games on your schedule that you circle. I know you guys been pretty pumped, over the summer heading into the season. Just how important is the preparation and the scheduling of those non-conference games to prepare you for the season?
Yeah, I mean, kind of it all starts in spring football, being able to have everybody out, and be able to go through it. That was a big learning curve. As a coach, you set certain goals at the beginning of spring that you want to accomplish at the end of spring. We reached that to a point. We still had some work to do. We could have went out and did a bunch of team camps and everything else this summer, but we kind of kept it more in-house. We did a couple of 7-on-7s, but at the same time, we grew in those. We got better. We competed, and that's our big thing is we've got to be a team that may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest, but we got to be the team that competes the hardest. And so our biggest thing right now is we're focused on that aspect. We start off with Poen. Actually, we got Gurdon for our scrimmage, and then we start off with Poen week 1. Then week 2, we got a kind of a crosstown rivalry with Mountain Pine, and then we got the big rivalry of Battle of the Gorge with Fearless Friday on that Thursday against Fountain Lake. We play 10 straight weeks. Our bye week falls right after our scrimmage, so that's just how it works out, and it's nothing. But at the same time, these guys got to be ready, and I feel like they are. We start fall camp next week, and just kind of really interested to see how we get things rolling.
And I want to touch on, we summarized about how, when Coach Finley got there, the 7 players and what you guys did, and you're 8-man last year. He just touched on you're going to play on TV. So all this stuff that you guys have already earned, what does it mean to already get to that point? Again, I know you still got some stuff to do, but again, to be known as, essentially the best class in school history.
I'll start on that. Well, definitely means a lot, especially whenever I got there my sophomore year. We had 7 guys when I showed up to my first practice, and now we're up to 42. So it definitely means a lot. It's a big change, and I'm just happy to be a part of that big change and happy to be a part of one of hopefully the best teams to ever come through Coda Morning Star.
Last year I didn't really play that much, so I didn't get to experience that much history with them, but I was on the sideline and I loved every minute of it, just watching the players give it their all. He said we had a couple miracle games, and those were probably the most exciting games I've ever watched in my life, and it wasn't even on TV. I was just sitting at a high school football game. So it's awesome because you can see how much work we put in and how much we truly did earn it, because 7 players to 42, doing something right.
I think for me, it's definitely gonna be different. I've moved from a smaller school where we've had less players, so having more players means a lot, and more skill, just be a lot more to do, and more people.
I'm excited for it. I know Coach Finley's he's put a game plan out there, and we're bought in and we're going with it. And I'm excited to be able to be a part of what we're building now. But I know there's years far after us to come of success through Cutter. So I'm just excited to be a start of it.
So speaking of those miracle games, and I'm pretty sure, the town was excited, correct? So with that being said, for each player, how important is it for your community to come out and support you guys to help you out through those miracle games?
It's just, I guess it just builds on the excitement and makes you want to do it more, makes the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears make it worth it throughout all of it. You just got to love it. It just builds the excitement and makes you love football more.
I say it's definitely more it's like more inspiring, I guess. Just more people there to support you, bigger crowd. It just gets you pumped up and ready to go.
Well, I'll definitely say going from a 0-7 season to a 6-3 season, our crowd wasn't really the greatest at the start of the season, but as we started winning more games, it kind of grew. And I remember our first miracle game, I guess you'd call it that, we were down 20 with 6 minutes left. We came back and won. I remember our whole entire crowd, half of it just left. And then the next week we had back-to-back miracle games, and they ended up staying that game, and we ended up coming back and winning that one too. I think we were down 20. So it helps us with the encouragement and kind of boost the morale of our team.
I think our crowd is the most important thing to our football games because I think overall positivity wins football games. We had a 7-on-7 not that long ago, and we started off not hot at all, and we were all beating each other up basically. And then we went against Fountain Lake, and we all just flipped a switch, and we just got all real positive, started encouraging each other, and we ended up beating Fountain Lake and getting a pretty good run on Lake Hamilton. We fell short, but I think positivity wins football games, and that's how important a crowd is for us.
And that's just a testament to these kids. I mean, you kind of heard their answers and everything else. That's what we're trying to build at Cutter. The changing the culture anywhere you go from one school to another. My biggest goal was to make sure that we were a next play mentality. We can't let one play affect 2 to 3 plays after that. But at the same time, they never gave up in those games that Peyton talked about. It's easy when you're down 20 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to just lay down and let the scoreboard run out. But a couple big plays here and somebody wanting to make a play ended up being the difference in that and created a memory. I'll probably, I've never seen that personally, but I've seen some probably in NFL and college, but at the high school level, I've never been a part of something where you're down 20 with 6 minutes to go and you come back and win a football game. But it's just a testament to their character. They work hard, they fight adversity, and they find a way to get through. And that's I think that's really going to help us this year. Has there been some growing pains this summer of leadership when you graduate leaders and you got to have guys step up? Yes, but at the same time, they're learning. We got to have more guys step up and be leaders. The more leaders you got on your football team, the better your football team is going to be.
All right, guys. We appreciate you coming.
Hey, Cal, thank you, guys.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas and Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas. We got the dirt on your infield.
All right, moving right along. Next, we got the Carlisle Bison. They are represented by head coach Gary Wilson, Gavin Davis, Lawson Petrus, Caden Klingman, and Gabe Boyle. Coach, I will turn it over to you for your opening statement.
Well, hey, first off, we want to say thank you for having us here. It's a really cool deal. And we got a lot of really good stuff going on in our football program, and things like this help us get the word out. We want everybody to know about the good things we've got going on. That being said, talk to you about these guys because they're the reason we're having the success that we're having, and so we need people to know about them. These two here, Caden and Gavin, I'm just going to lump them in together. These two guys are our returning slot receivers. They hold every receiving record in Carlisle history, and they did it in about a year. Both had over 600 yards receiving. I think Gavin had 7 touchdowns. Caden had 3. They both really complement each other. This guy right here runs a 4.5 40. It's hard to stay in front of him. That guy over there runs a 4.6. He's a point guard on the basketball team. You're good luck tackling him in open space. They complement each other really well. And they were both on our 4x100 state championship team too, that our offensive line coach, Gage Johnson, coaches. So these guys are
excellent athletes, and we're glad that we have them and that we don't have to game plan for them. Gabe here, Gabe's a 4-year starter for us. We moved him up in the 9th grade. He came up and he started on what was a really bad football team that year. We went 1-10, and fast forward to his senior year, and we're coming off a state championship appearance, a state semifinal appearance where we're 19 seconds away from playing for another state championship game again. All-state football player for us at linebacker. And we know there are a lot of good players in 2A, but we feel like you'd be hard-pressed to find a better overall football player than this guy right here. And then Lawson's a 3-year starter for us. Started at safety as a 10th grader. Played some safety, some outside linebacker for us last year. He'll make the transition to full-time outside linebacker and running back this year. You saw the last name Petrus. They play. It's a big name in Carlisle, and they've done a lot of good things for us. Lawson, he'll knock your head off on defense. I mean, he can run, he can catch, and he also cleans 245 pounds, which is a school record for his size. So I think these 4 guys here really represent Carlisle football really well. We're excited that we have all 4 of these guys. Expect big things out of them, and I know they expect big things out of themselves. After that, I just feel like we've got really good players and we've got really good coaches at Carlisle too. So our OC, Gage Coughlin, does a great job getting these guys the football. We know we trust his game plan. They trust his game plan. Jason Golden, Gage Johnson coach our offensive line. They do an excellent job there. They also coach our D-line, and we love the way our D-line plays. And then Stephen, too, coaches our receivers in our corners, and they all do a good job. With all that being said, if you open up Hooten's, you'll see that we're preseason number 2. So there's a lot of expectations on us this year. And, I mean, we know that right now that's just somebody's opinion. Last year, we were preseason number 11 and picked 4th in the conference, which was hilarious to these guys here. So we went out and proved everybody wrong. So our job this year is to go prove everybody right. And we're excited to have those expectations. And we look forward to proving people right about us this year.
And kind of just bundling all that up, like you said, was it 3 years ago, I guess you guys had the down season, then went to state. And if the past 2, really the Mount Ida game in 22 and then last year EPC, if that doesn't prove that football is a game of inches, I don't know what does. But that just really shows that the expectation at Carlisle for a long time has been to make it to Little Rock. So it's just clear that that's back now.
No, absolutely. You go back to the 90s with Coach Clayton, people expect you to win in Carlisle. They support the football program really well, but they expect you to win on Friday nights. And I don't think me or these guys here want it any other way. We kind of like the pressure that we feel like's on us. We want to be expected to go out there and win. So.
Okay, as for the players, Coach was saying how you guys have that pressure on you. So starting from left to right. Just how have you been dealing with that pressure, and what's some of the things that you have been doing over the spring and the summer to help you complete that?
Yeah, so we just been doing what our coaches tell us to do. We got trust in the coaches, and we believe what they say is gonna work, which is
As Coach said, I've been a part of a 1-10 football team, and then I've been a part of a 13-2 or whatever it was. The biggest deal is buying in the weight room and believing in your coaches. I trust Coach Wilson with every part of my life. I know at the end of the day he'll do whatever it is to help me to become a better young man.
Yeah, I really just think the practice and the coaches, they just tell us what to do and we trust what they say, and it's really just about trusting in our guys to make the plays and do all that. And also, we're just, we're really in the weight room. We like that. All of our team, they really love to be in the weight room. They like to work out. They like to get stronger. I think that's going to help our team a lot this year.
Just doing what the coaches say and ask of us, do it the right way. It'll get us where we need to be in the season, because we've seen it before. We just fell short just a little bit, and just playing as a team and trusting in your teammates for them to, Yeah, that's about it.
You good? Coach, big theme over the past 3 days. Big theme past 3 days. Pretty much everybody has all their skill players coming back, doing a rebuild on the offensive line. Kind of seems like that's what you're going to be looking at as well.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that offensive line, because without that offensive line, these four guys can't do their thing.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. We love the skill guys, but we know it all starts up front. We bring 2 starters back from last year's state semifinal team. Caleb Croucher at tackle, Mitch Crouch at guard. We've got some other guys Luke Cadmus will play a tackle for us. He's a guy that played a lot of reps for us last year. Didn't start. He was our deep snapper. Played on every other set of special teams. Played a lot of reps at tackle, but it'll be, he's had a great summer, and he's just got to settle into that role at starting tackle, and I think he will. And then we're dependent on a couple of 10th graders right now that are really talented 10th graders at center and guard. They're 10th graders, so there's going to be some lumps along the way. There'll be some head-scratching moments, I'm sure, but we feel like we're going to get it right up front. I know we've got really good coaches up front, and we've got really good players. They've got to get adjusted to the speed of the game, and we feel like they've gotten a little bit better every practice. So we're confident that when the season rolls around, we'll be right up front.
Coach, obviously 2 years you guys were, one of not the best running teams in the state. And you had Jason back there as good as anybody and got you to a state title game. I guess for you and Caden and Gavin, how different does your team, what is kind of moving maybe to more of a passing attack done for you guys to spread it out a little bit? I know you guys passed a little bit in 22, but when you have somebody that good, you don't necessarily need to. And I guess following after that, can you kind of go into, where the quarterback situation looks this year?
I think, when we had Jason Sullivan for 3 years, and he was as good of a running back as you'll find. So I think that, if you ask me or Caleb Schock, Coach Schock was our head coach then, if you've got a guy like that and you don't give him the ball 25 times a game, then you're probably not doing a very good job as a coach. And we think we've got really good backs now. We don't have anyone that's, Jason Sullivan, but most people don't have record-setting running backs on their team every year. So what we've done is built our offense around what we have, and we've got guys that can really run out wide in the slots. And then we can go 6'3", at our X and Y spot. So we're long and we're athletic, and and we've got a quarterback. I'll touch on him in just a second. But we've got a quarterback that can really throw the football. We feel like we're going to make you defend the entire field, and then the lanes are going to open up for this guy right here to run the ball. So we think that we've got the pieces to make you defend every piece of the field this year, and that's going to open up, our running lanes too. And then as far as quarterback goes, we moved up a ninth. We're going to start a 9th grader. Ty Tanksley's his name, and Ty has a chance to be really, really special. He's a baseball guy too. I think Perfect Game has him ranked in the top 100 prospects in the country in his class. He's a guy that throws, 87 mile an hour fastball right now. He can also sling the football too. He throws a perfect deep ball. And long story short, Ty can make every throw that we'll ever ask him to make. He's got to get used to the speed of the game, but like those, the 10th grade linemen we're dependent on, he's had a great summer. He's gotten progressively better at every 7-on-7 he's went to. He's gotten better at every team camp he's been to. And, he'll have maybe some head-scratching moments along the way because he's still supposed to be playing junior high football. But he can get the ball to these guys, and we've got all the confidence in the world in him.
And with respect to Drew Central in week 0, you got a big-time one, headliner in week 1 at your house against Junction City. And not to look too far ahead here, but, that could be a preview of the state finals. So that's going to really test you early on where you guys are.
Absolutely. Like you said, if we don't beat Drew Central in 0 week, then it doesn't mean nearly as much in week 1. But, these guys will tell you that they're probably already tired of hearing about Junction City right now anyway. So any chance we get to drop something that, if we're having a bad day, we're going to bring up Junction City about how they're probably not making the mistakes right now that we're making in practice or in the weight room. And we're really excited about it. Two traditional powers. We know we're going to have to play extremely well to win, but we also know they got to play us too, and we ain't bad. And we're excited about it, man. We felt like that was the game that really set the tone for our season last year. We went down there in week 1 without 3 starters, 3 seniors that had been 3-year starters for us. One was his brother. He was a 2-time All-State. played the worst first half of the season, turned the ball over 4 times. We're down 26-7 at halftime. Well, in the fourth quarter, there's 2 minutes left, and we're driving with a chance to win the football game. So we felt like, that kind of, if there was any doubt in anybody's mind about how good we could be, we felt like that was all done after that Friday night, and then we proceeded to win, I think, 11 games in a row. So it's going to be a battle, and we're really excited about it.
All right, last question, fellas. Might be the most important question asked all day long, and I'm going to start down here with you, Katie, and all 4 of you guys can answer. What's your favorite thing to get at Nick's?
I just get a chicken strip basket. I'm not a big fan of all that extra stuff.
I don't eat Nick's much, but I go with the chicken strip basket. So,
my mom gets it like pretty much at least like once every 2 weeks, and I always either do the catfish basket or the shrimp basket.
I'm kind of like him. I normally get the either catfish, shrimp, or chicken to switch it up every once in a while because it's right down the road from my house, basically. So,
man, we just what I get from Nick's. Oh man, I get the grilled chicken sandwich most of the time.
Healthy guy.
Sometimes, not all the time.
All right, anybody else? Okay, guys, we really appreciate y'all coming.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next is the Star City Bulldogs. They're represented by head coach Chris Norton, along with Kevin Johnson, Zyron Bean, Cash Tollison, and Peyton Taylor. Coach, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you for your opening statement.
Well, I appreciate that. You guys have done a really good job putting this thing together. I think it's been extremely well run. We had a chance to watch some of it Wednesday morning. Been a busy week for us. We had team camp Tuesday, 7-on-7 yesterday. Really proud of where we are going into fall camp. I think we've gotten better through the summer, which is what it's all about. I want to recognize the 4 kids that we brought with us, 4 of our seniors, outstanding high-character kids. We'll start right here to my left, Kevin Big Show Johnson. Kevin is an outstanding kid, first and foremost. Going to be a huge part of what we do defensively at linebacker. He's going to play a big role on the offensive side of the ball as our cowboy, our H-back. Really been impressed by him. He's one of the first kids that I was told about when I agreed to take the job. You know, this is a guy that we're going to be able to build around. And he's been everything and more than that we expected. Zyron Bean, Zyron's going to help us at wide receiver and at defensive back. Zyron came back to the program this spring. Had been a basketball guy for the last few years. Has been fun to watch. Zyron's gotten better every day this summer, and that's been a lot of fun as a coaching staff. Another guy that takes coaching well, wants to be really successful, and we're glad he's out here with us. To my right, we've got Cash Tollison. Cash is going to be an outstanding offensive lineman. I think he fits our scheme really well. Very intelligent young man, 29 on his ACT. has camped really well. Some this summer, was at UAM yesterday afternoon. We're excited about his season. He'll help us at left tackle. He'll help us at defensive end in our 3-4 scheme. Peyton Taylor on the end. Peyton's a returning 1,200-yard rusher. Was an outstanding player for the program last year. Played a lot of quarterback for Coach Vereen and some of the things they were doing offensively. We're going to line him up all over the field. He'll take some snaps. We're going to hand it to him. We're going to throw it to him and try to get him as involved as we possibly can offensively. And then he'll start at linebacker for us. Had a great day at 7-on-7 yesterday. And Peyton also has an offer from UAM. And we think all 4 of these guys are going to have a chance to help somebody if that's what they choose to do. 4 really talented guys and 4 of 53 that'll start camp with us on August 5th, that we're excited about it, that are trying to do things the right way. And we're having a lot of fun coaching them every day.
Well, Coach, 10 wins in 2022, 1 last year. So, of course, when you come into something like this, you obviously have to set your own culture. And, I guess it starts with these 4 guys, and that's why you brought them here. So just kind of talk about some things when you first got there. I know you hadn't been there super long, but just kind of some things that you did to really get the confidence up.
The biggest thing, we got there at the first part of May, and we were trying to get ready for spring ball, so we really jumped in and went to work. When we first met with these guys, and I think they tell you the same thing, not a whole lot of talk and bluster and promises. We're going to coach them hard every day. And I believe we've done that with every kid that we've got in the program. We're going to continue to do that. One of our big focuses when we got there, and I think things were well done now. It got sideways on them last year, and it happens. Look, I can speak from experience. Okay, it happens. We've got talented kids. We're trying to fix some things that may have went wrong. We're working really hard to try to develop this thing from 7th through 12th grade. And make sure that we're retaining kids in our program. We're coaching them suckers up every day, give them a chance to get better, putting them on the field, letting them play, trying to get really involved at the youth level, kind of from a start to finish, bottom up. Let's run it the right way. Our administration at Star City talks about, be the best. That's our motto for our district. And we're going to try to run the best program in the state. Look, talent, luck, we talked about that with these guys. They were a really good team 2 years ago. Sometimes the ball just don't bounce your way. But we can control how we work. We can control the kind of environment we build for our guys. We can control how we treat our kids and how we treat our coaches. And we're going to try to run a really good football program from top to bottom, year in, year out. And we think the outcome will take care of itself from there.
As for the players, I heard Coach talking about environment. So speaking of that, start from left to right, how has been the environment, the energy around the team?
I feel like it's been good the past couple of years with the new head coach coming in. There's been a lot of learning offensively and defensively, the playbook. But I feel like we've all come together through the brotherhood and a family, and I feel like it'll be a strong year for us.
I feel like we got a bunch of new coaches here recently, and they've all showed how much they really care for us. We've got a lot of new things, and it just shows how much they really care for us.
I feel like we've been working really hard. The coach has been on us. We've been working really together. We've been connecting. That's been the biggest thing, coming together. One person make a mistake, lifting the other one up. We ain't been down in each other. That's really how we've been becoming stronger.
I feel like the environment been great. Everybody been showing they want to win, work hard, and buy in. And the bonding has been great. So I feel like it's gonna be a great year.
Coach said you're taking Peyton, who played quite a bit of quarterback last year, and you're going to move him some different positions, put him all over the place. That being said, you got to be taking somebody who didn't play a whole lot of quarterback last year, and you're going to be playing him at quarterback. So what's that look like?
We've got a young man, Jacob Booth, is going to be our starting quarterback as we go into week 1. Jacob's a tough kid. We're working really hard to clean up some things in the past game just because they haven't done it a whole lot the past 6 years. He had a really good day at 7-on-7 yesterday. He is getting better every day. Now, we've still got work to do, and he understands that. Our receivers are helping out. We've got some talented guys who will play out wide. Talent is there to be successful year in and year out. I really believe that. We're going to continue coaching Jacob up. Peyton, DeJuan Haney, Zyron Show, our offensive line, we think is going to be really good. That takes a lot of pressure off a young quarterback. And, look, I'm a big believer. Football is and always will be a line of scrimmage game now. And I'm an O-line guy. We're going to try to really major in that, get really good up front, and I think Jacob will be able to be successful behind that. Really proud of how hard he's worked. Drew Morgan's going to be our backup. Proud of how hard he's worked this summer, and we're going to be okay. We're going to keep bringing him along as we go, and Jacob's a kid that we're going to be able to utilize in the run game, and we really believe that. We're going to run our quarterbacks. We've done it everywhere we've been. trying to help us get +1 in the box. And I think he's the kind of kid that's going to be able to do that for us.
Coach, I'm a big proponent of multi-sport athletes. I know you're a wrestling guy. Having covered the wrestling state tournament for the past 3 or 4 years, I've seen a lot of guys that shine on the gridiron and they've won state championships. So you can touch on any sport, but especially wrestling in particular, just the techniques and all that goes with that. How does that translate over to the field?
I think the technique stuff really helps for box players, those D-line, linebacker, offensive line kind of guys. Here's the big thing, guys, and it's not just wrestling. It's track, it's baseball, it's soccer, it's basketball. You've got to compete. You've got to put yourself in a position to be competitive. And one of the things I really appreciate about wrestling, about track especially, you can't hide. Like it's, on the track, it's you and 7 other people, and you can't hide. In wrestling, it's you and another guy on the mat, and you can't hide. You got to dig in and compete, whether you're real good, whether you're not. You got to dig in and compete. And I think that gets lost sometimes as we've turned high school football into a 365-day-a-year deal. I think that gets lost. We're going to work really hard to try to put our kids, in a position to be competitive. Find you something that you like to do. We've got a powerlifting program. RAD, Randy Rayleigh's big into that. Monticello really runs that, does a really good job. We want to be really good at that. Let's try to win the daggum thing. Let's try to be really successful in track. If we had wrestling at Star City in the future, we'd be tickled to be involved with it. I think it's great for kids, gets a lot of kids involved. But it gets you competing, and young people need every opportunity they can get to go be competitive. I think that does a lot to build character and build toughness that you're going to need late in ball games. And, I think it'll do a lot for us as we build this thing going forward.
Okay, Coach, and one word, what's that one word that you have your team hang their hat on to kind of help motivate them through the season?
So really, we're working hard to try to become a family. Look, and being a family, guys, in terms of a football team, it doesn't always mean you get along. It don't always mean you like each other. But you're going to have each other's back. Like you're going to rally together when times are tough, and you're going to come together and stick together and persevere through some stuff. And I think we've done a really good job. Guys, kids here want to win. And Coach Harvey and Monticello and them are going to be up here in a second. Coach Harvey's got Star City ties. He can tell you, you can win here. Kids care. The community cares. Our administration's all in, guys. And I'm going to tell you, and this isn't a shot at nobody, but I am thrilled to be in an environment where it's important again. And I mean that sincerely. I am thrilled to be in an environment where we care about athletics. And, we're going to try to get this group all together on the same page. I think these guys have done a great job of that. We've got 11 other seniors that are part of our program that have done a good job buying into that. And we're going to keep trying to hammer it. Get everybody on the same page, have each other's back, be willing to compete for each other. And good things tend to happen from there.
All right, guys, we really appreciate y'all making the trip up.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai and Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation. And check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas. We got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next we got the Monticello Billies, represented by head coach Randy Harvey, along with James Seals, Blaine Hayden, Ty Guthrie, and Jagger Hines. Coach, I will go ahead and hand it over to you for your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here at First Community Bank. On behalf of our superintendent, Ms. Sandra Lane Hart, our AD Blair Brown, and also our city mayor, Jason Akers, we appreciate you having us here to talk about football and get football kicked off. We're excited. The season's coming up. Fall camps begins here August 5th, and these guys are very excited to get going. Just coming out, talking a little bit about last year, then we'll move on to here. Billies are coming off an 8-4 season, second round of the playoffs, most wins that the Billies had since 2010. And these guys sitting up here are a very big part of that from last year. We have up here leading tacklers, guys, mostly defensive guys up here today, but we have Ty Guthrie, who will be our quarterback this year, played defense last year. He will be a senior, of course. He played defense, going to be a first year as our starting quarterback. We have Jagger Hines as a sophomore. He was our leading tackler. This past year, he played 6 games, came off an injury, but came back in game 6. Really didn't have to, but he wanted to get back out there with his guys and finish the season, which we did. We got Blaine Hayden. He was second leading tackler as a sophomore, and then leading tackler this past year for us. Defensive side of the ball made some big plays, made a big play up at Highland, stopping the 2-point conversion to put us into the second round of the playoffs. James Sims will be middle linebacker. And talking a little bit about all these guys as far as adversity, talking about James. James didn't play a lot in junior high, and last year he stepped up and started for us, and that just shows you the development of kids over the course of time and about our program, weight program, all that type of thing that, even if you don't get that opportunity, he stuck with it the whole time. Blaine also went through some adversity. He broke an ankle as a 9th grader and was able to overcome that, and push forward in his career. And I talked about Jagger. Also, Ty had some medical issue that he went through. And so all of these guys have gone through adversity. And that's a big thing that we talk about, is being able to overcome adversity. And I think that's what pushed us over the top last year. Every game we played, I think we were down early. We didn't hang our head, and we pushed forward, in most every game. And it came down to the fourth quarter, just about every ball game. We look forward to a great season with these guys and what they've learned over the past year, from our other seniors, our seniors from last year, and we look forward to this year.
Coach, I believe you said 2010, that was the most wins that you had last year with the 8. So, last year was last year, but it's obviously, you feel a lot better coming into a season with that kind of momentum as opposed to, 4-7 or whatever it may be. So just talk about how y'all are going to channel that and just build on from it.
Well, I think, you're right. It's very important coming off that. And these guys were a big part of that. It wasn't like these guys didn't play. Our seniors were also a big part of that. But just the confidence I felt like that we get, from those victories we had last year. What we've talked about this year, a big motto for us this year is to compete in everything that we do. In the Bible, Proverbs 27:17 says, "Iron sharpens iron," and these guys have to push each other, set the standard for those guys coming behind them. And I think that's a part of what these guys intend to do this year.
Ty, I wanted to ask you, taking over at quarterback full time, just kind of, you saw some time last year, so kind of compare it to, from at that point through the offseason and how the game may have slowed down a little bit for you, and how everything's kind of clicked.
I feel like everything's clicking better than what most people in my position would think it is. And most people coming in as nervous or whatever. But, I'm ready, been ready, stay ready. I'm ready for this upcoming season.
Definitely. And so the rest of the players, just like I was asking Coach Harvey here, you guys won the most games since 2010, dang near close to 2 decades. So pretty impressive there. So, what are some things maybe that you guys have individually worked on from a team standpoint, from an individual standpoint to make it even better this year?
I feel like we worked on brotherhood, like coming close to each other. Last year we wasn't really as close as what we needed to be, but this year I feel like we've all gotten real close and it's all coming together.
Like Jagger said, I feel like we've all gotten very close. Every one of us go through adversity every day, and going through that adversity all together, I feel like brings us a lot closer to the team.
It's definitely a confidence booster to come off a season that big, and I feel like we all got a lot of good chemistry going, and you know all the guys got your back, and you're playing for each other, and it's not a selfish game. So I feel like we have a pretty good season.
And I know I've asked a good bit about, the 8 wins and everything, but I think what's most impressive, you won 5 of your last 7. So not only did you have one of the best seasons in recent memory, but it's not like you started fast and then it fell off at the end. It was kind of...
Well, actually, it was 7. We went 7 of our last 8 before we got to Elkins.
That's right.
So
I was a little I can't do math. Private school education.
Yeah, it turned around there for us. And I'm going to mention this, and I know these guys don't mind. One of our major boosters for our program over the last 30 years passed away January the 17th, Miss Beth Maxwell. She, for 31 years, she came into our locker room on every Wednesday. It's known as Candy Day around our place. And she brought candy bars for these guys for 31 years. She did that. And not only did she do that, but she walked around every locker and prayed for these guys. I mean, she was our biggest prayer warrior. And she passed away, like I said, January 17th. And that's going to be a big hole for these guys, to feel. And I want to do a quote from her. A quote from her is, "It's entirely possible that you have no idea how much is possible." And I think that's what she put into these guys last year. After our week 3 loss to DeWitt, we were 1-2. It could have went either way. And she came that Wednesday, and these guys will tell you, she stood at the door, and she had fire and brimstone coming out. She was mad that we hadn't played like we were capable of playing. And she told these guys, y'all got to tackle better. Y'all got to block better. Y'all got to do things better. That's when we went on that winning streak, or, winning 7 of those next 8 games. And I know she was a big part of that. And these guys, really believed in her.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. With that being said, Coach, going into this season, I know your non-conference schedule and your preparation, I'm pretty sure it's been riding on that 7-game winning streak. Just how have you implemented that preparation and that non-conference schedule? Just what does that mean heading into this season?
Well, our non-conference schedule is not easy. I mean, you look at it, it's 3A Fordyce, but Fordyce is a very, very good football team. I know y'all have had some other teams up here that play, but Fordyce has got great athletes, and they've been on our schedule every year. Coach Rogers is a Monticello graduate, so he likes to play us, and he really likes to beat us. And so, that's when that's a game we're going to have on our schedule, mainly because of the competition. Bauxite, as you know, great players. They went on a winning streak at the end of this past year. Got some great players, great coach. And we've added Dumas to our non-conference schedule. So, and if the 8 4A is not an easy conference. I mean, you got Warren. Of course, we added Stuttgart. Just a very, very good football team this year. They're talking about you had Star City up here just a few minutes ago. And there's no easy football game in our conference. So having a non-conference schedule that's competitive is big for us to get us ready for that week in, week out matchup that you got to bring your best every week.
I wanted to touch on the conference. I mean, obviously Bo Hembry's been doing it for so long there at Warren, and I mean, what the receivers that he sent to the NFL and just so many things. But, obviously competition makes us better, as we talked about. DeWitt had a great season last year. So just going up against that, especially at the top half, not to, drag the rest of the conference or anything, but just that top half especially, going up against that as long as you've been at Monticello, how does that make you and your team better?
Well, like you said, it makes us better. You had Hamburg in there too. They were very, very tough this year. I think they lost 5 or 6 games by less than 7 points. I mean, so all very, very good football teams, well-coached football teams in our conference. And so there's no week that we can say, hey, we can take it easy this week. We can back off. We can hold players out for injury to get them well. There's none of that in our conference. If you can go, you got to get out there and go, because this game is this game matters and every game matters that we play during the course of the year.
All right, guys, we really appreciate y'all making the trip.
Thank you for having us.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai and Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next we have the Brinkley Tigers. They are represented by head coach Kevin Mosley, along with Nehemiah Lindsay and RJ Medford. Coach, I'll hand it over to you for your opening statement.
All right, first and foremost, thank you everyone for having us here. We plan on having a great season to build up off of the great season that we had last year. I brought RJ Medford with me and Nehemiah Lindsay. They both contributed very much last year to help us with all the success that we had. We're going into a rebuild year of where we lost 7 seniors, 2-way players, but these guys, along with their classmates, helped us get to the first round of playoffs, had a home first round playoff game, building off momentum, bringing the whole community together and try to make everything happen. We have a very young group, very athletic, but we're young, but we're learning the game and staying with the philosophy and picking up everything that we can.
And I think you guys are the third or fourth 8-man team that we've had represented here. And I think one of the most common questions, and rightfully so, because there's some people that still aren't super familiar with 8-man. Talk about just some of the differences for maybe someone that's never seen, obviously, 3 less on the field and everything on each side, but just some of the maybe the differences. It's still football, yes, but just to someone that's never seen it before.
The key to it is that it's still football. I try to compare it a lot to the Arena League football. So if anyone is not familiar with it, if you've seen Arena League football, you've seen 8-man football. In this conference, there's a lot of great student athletes with a lot of athletic ability and a lot of brains, and they deserve a shot. And it's a lot of athleticism in this 8-man group, and you still have to have all the philosophies and game plans and be prepared for different formations to make sure everything is solidified.
Like I said, you guys, had a quality season last year, and that was, I guess, your first season. So you do have to replace. I know Mitchell Hicks is a big one. A lot of offense that you have to replace. I think a good bit of defense as well. So just talk about, you got RJ and you've got Nehemiah. I know Chris Williams is a big piece of what you guys do. Talk about a few others to watch.
We also have Michael Madden, who's stepping up in the offseason to run the ball. Keith and James, who would step up as our Z receiver, basically our second receiver, and a lot of young guys. Alonde Davis will be the quarterback, and he stay healthy. He's a pretty good hand there, and we have something that no one else has, and we have Omar Palmer. And soon everyone will realize who he is. But hopefully he keeps his head on straight, stay healthy, and that'll be the biggest key to the whole season, staying healthy and keep learning as we grow.
Hey, Coach Mosley, Aaron Weatherford, Arkansas 8-Man Football Podcast. I've asked Coach Porter from Strong, Coach Hag from Rosebud this same question. This is probably the best platform we've had to talk about 8-Man football since its insurrection. Just talk about you coming over to Brinkley last year and just running an 8-man football program as to an 11-man.
It was a great experience. With me being an assistant 11-man for a very long time, basically since 2000. Coming into 8-man, I had to learn a different philosophy, but as I said just a few minutes ago, it's still football. And with everyone coming in with their own philosophy to show their athletes and put everybody in space to make them professional and make them productive, I think it's a great deal. 8-man football is something that the state really needs to pick up on because it's a great avenue for these young athletes, especially in small towns.
Absolutely. And talking about last season going into this season, you guys had a pretty good season last year. First playoff appearance in a long time, and first home playoff game since I think 2003 for Brinkley. So talk about how you've used that winning experience from last year going into this year with this young program you got.
Well, with the young guys, it's all discipline. We stick with discipline, doing all the little things right. We have to build on it. Last year was last year. We had a great group of seniors, but this year, with all these young guys that we have, discipline and learning philosophy and doing things the right way will be one of our biggest keys to try to make things go.
And to the players, guys, I asked a couple of players yesterday about how they view 8-man football. You guys have obviously been playing 8-man football at Brinkley longer than the other two programs. What is it about 8-man football that you guys like and know? I'm not sure if you've played 11-man football in a long time, but what's the differences between it?
I'll take that one. I like the defensive side of it. There are less people on the field, so it's more tackles for me. I enjoy playing in a more open field and just the excitement that comes with it. There's always big plays somewhere happening on the field. So.
It's just very competitive, and it's 16 people on the field trying to do the same thing. So it's just hard work at the end of the day.
And going into the season, I noticed you guys got some new helmets. I got to bring that up. We went and streamed your game against Izzard County last fall. You guys were sporting some gold ones. Brinkley used to have black helmets. That's what they used to rep back in the day, and it looks like you brought it back. Just talk about that transition.
Well, right now we're basically, as I said, we're in transition. We're trying to build build a new thing, new philosophy, new community, and we want everything to go well. So we're taking the Tiger logo and we're making it run, try to bring the whole community together to win championship.
Speaking of community, for the players, how important is it for the community to show up for you guys and help root you on to victory?
I think it's a big part of football in general. You know, like you look at these colleges, these powerhouses, they got all these fans that like show up and show out for them. And that in general just makes you want to perform to your best ability. I mean, you know, an empty crowd, it's like, yeah, I made a good play, but dang, who's seen it? So it's a big part for me to have people there that I know that I'm showing out for and doing something for.
Just like just people that you know in a small town and just knowing they seeing you doing a thing you like. So that's really that's why I like my fans and all that to come see me and all that.
And back to you, Coach. This year you got a couple new faces in the 8-man North division with Cedar Ridge dropping down from the club division. What are your thoughts just going into this 8-man season on other teams competing against you guys?
Well, this year we're moving down to the south, so it's a new competition. So we'll be seeing Strong, we'll be seeing Woodland, Hermitage, guys that we didn't see last year. So it's basically like I'm looking at it like year one again. It's all new competition, but the same goal, same mission. Get these kids to college, get them college ready, get them prepared, and in the process, if it's the blessing to win the state championship, we'll go for it.
So guys, with respect, of course, to taking it week by week and not looking ahead or behind, anything like that, is there any, I know you finished winning 2 of your final 3 games, of course, the Spring Hill game with the exception. Is there anyone going into this year, especially, you know, what Coach said, you know, the change and everything that you got circled that you kind of want to, you might just look at a little bit harder?
Woodlawn.
Strong.
I figured at least one of y'all would say Strong.
As I said, we don't have much film on these guys, so it's going to all be new, and we're just looking forward to the competition. I know that they're good, strong programs, and they've been building a successful program for the longest. We're in the process of building it, so we're going to try our best to be competitive and give them everything we got.
I don't think anybody's really, you know, we try to, especially the small towns, touch on the community support. And, you know, think back to just even, I mean, I know Van Pascal, you know, the years ago, and just all the coaches that have been there, there's been some success. But talk about that community support. I mean, community support, especially in you guys as part of the state, is extra crucial. So
yes,
just talk about that for a bit.
The community is coming together very well. We just passed the millage. We're building a new school. Everything is starting to be put in place, and everyone's coming together and realizing that it takes a whole community to get these student athletes to the next level, to get them to where they need to be. So I thank the community for everything that they've done, everything that they plan on doing for us. Just stay behind us, keep encouraging the young men and young women in our athletic program to do the right thing, and hard work will pay off in the long run.
All right. Guys, we really appreciate y'all making the trip.
All right, thank you very much.
Sir, thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, wrapping up Big Miller Media Football Media Days is the 23-time state champion Pine Bluff Zebras. They are led by head coach Michael Williams. They have also got Marshawn Jordan and Blake Clark with them, along with DeJuan Hayes and Tristan Helms. Coach Williams, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you for an opening statement.
Well, we're so excited to be here. We got some of our top seniors here, but we have multiple guys that could have been on this board, but these are the ones that we have our leadership council with. We have two more, and these are the guys that I want to introduce. We have Tristan Helms. He's played slot receiver for us. He's a big-time competitor, and he's going to do some big things this year. DeJuan Hayes, he came on late in the season, which carried us through the playoffs and led us through the semifinals. We have Marshawn Jordan. He's coming back to Pine Bluff High. I think he had about 146 tackles last year. He was previously at Whitehall. And then we have Blake Clark, which is a big-time tackle that's going to be highly recruited. He's already highly recruited. His brother is actually a star D tackle at UCA right now. And I'm very excited about these guys.
And just kind of talk about, Coach, this is year 3 for you at your alma mater's head coach. And I think what's more even impressive, you guys made it to the semifinals last year. First time I think it was since 2016, 2017.
But to me, what's more impressive is what you've done, what you guys have done in the classroom. You made a very big motive of making sure that they take care of their grades and all that, because it wasn't really happening before. So talk about that drastic change that you had in the classroom before we get on to the field stuff.
Well, so coming back to Pine Bluff, I've been in Dallas 20 years of my life, actually. When I left high school, I shot to Dallas, and I kind of never came back. But some of the things that I noticed here, that we had great athletes and always had great athletes, but they just wasn't going to college. We would win championships, and I'll look at it, I'm like, but why nobody's not getting heavily recruited? Well, I noticed the grades were in a bad situation. So something that we drastically did when I got back, we changed practice to mornings. So we practice at 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. to 7:45, and then after that, we go to class. We eat breakfast, go to class. After breakfast and class, we got our class period, our normal class period where we lift weights and watch film. We do that as well. But as soon as school is out, when normally everybody go football practice, we go to study hall. And so we raised our team GPA up tremendously. I think when I got here, it was like a 1.6, and now we're hovering around a 2.8. And then we have multiple guys that's getting offers now. And over the last 2 years, I think we had about, 12 guys to sign college scholarships, and 2 guys that's in the SEC that people gave up on because of their grades. And we actually made that happen as well. And same thing for these guys. These guys are on pace to be able to do the same thing.
Kind of adding on to what you were saying, it's one thing to set these rules. You got to be here at 6:30, you got to be here at 7, but you also got to have parent buy-in for that. Parents got to get their kids to school, the ones that can't drive. So you've had that, I know, as well.
Definitely have to have parent buy-in. That's why I applaud my parents every time. I have this mom squad that I even got alumni mom squad now since I've been here 3 years, and they definitely get the kids there. I'm excited about that. And then the ones that can't get there, they know how to call other parents, because our community is very tight-knit. And so just like today when I pulled up, Tristan and DeJuan was in the same car together because mom picked both of them up, and I love that about our parents.
So, Coach, it's no question that football in this state is way better when Little Rock and Pine Bluff, the cities of Little Rock and Pine Bluff, are churning out talent. We see what's happening at Little Rock Central right now. We know what's happening at Pine Bluff right now with new facilities. Talk about that, how important it is to that, and continue to build on a lot of success that you've been able to bring the last couple of years.
Oh, it's funny that you said Little Rock Central. The coach at Little Rock Central, he's an alum of the state, but he actually coached in Texas as well. And we kind of under the same tree and umbrella of how to rebuild your program. And it's been an awesome change for us. We get a new high school right now built. Dr. Barberie, Mr. Carlisle, and Mr. Gregg, they're doing a wonderful job for us to be able to bring in new things. And then we're going to get some updates to the facility. Same thing for Little Rock Central. They're getting back a new facility, and it helps that because the kids want new stuff, and maybe it helps get their kids back. And the main thing is, if you got kids, you got an opportunity. If you don't have kids, it's kind of hard to win.
I wanted to ask the players, I know that not all of you have been here since Coach Williams got there, but you think about 2 years ago. Am I picking up? Okay. 2 years, need to get closer. 2 years ago, you guys were right on the verge. I think it was maybe like a game that you missed the playoffs. And then last year, you make it to the semifinals. So for the players, I mentioned at the opening there, 23-time state champions all time. So to play for a caliber like a team the caliber of Pine Bluff, and just to be back on, kind of the final 4 teams like you guys were last year, what does that mean?
Start with Tristan.
It's exciting playing for a high caliber team like this, knowing that we bring good athletes every year and can make it that far. It's a good feeling to be on a team like that.
Picking up off what he said, it feel great getting up early in the morning. All he talk about, we gotta have the dedication, because if we ain't getting up in the morning, then we not working out. And we got to have the grades to do it. So it feel good making it that far.
It was a blessing to make it that far. Some people said we would never make that far, but we made it, though.
Marshawn didn't quite make it, but Marshawn was on the receiving end of a loss. That was a close game.
Okay. Hey, go ahead and respond to that, Marshawn.
responding to that, it was kind of upsetting, you know, like losing and stuff to him, but it ain't stopped me and my team from, you know, building up and stopping what we do. But it was a good season, and, you know, building up from there, we just had to learn, you know, you ain't gonna always win, but yeah.
So over the spring, going into the summer individually, what have you guys done to get better and prepare for the season?
We didn't got better, like, as a team. We done bonded over the summer, working out, getting up early together, pushing each other to our limits every day, butting heads at practice, at team camps, just coming together as a team as one unit so we can stop all the arguing. By the time the season comes, we can be unstoppable, basically.
Yeah, we been bonding. We been from fisting together to just eating out. We been doing all that. Them boys might not catch nothing, but yeah, we work out. It's a little hill that we go through. Nothing but heat out there.
Picking up from that, over the summer we be coming together as a team and getting to know each other more as brothers and making a tighter brotherhood, because throughout the season, that's what we're going to need to get to where we want to be in life, man. I can say, like, we've been doing better on working together and coming together as a team and achieving the things that we want to achieve in life.
Over the summer, we were working out as competing against each other so we can have a better mind competing against other teams, so they can make us have a better chance of competing against other teams that we know we're better than. So we have a chance of competing more.
Coach, everybody knows you lost Courtney, but not just Courtney, but I think you had like 8, 9 guys, 10 guys go play during, playing college. So tell us also, what you lost Courtney, but you also lost the All-State quarterback. Who's stepping into those shoes, and what's the offense going to look like?
So right now we're still in the process of seeing who's going to be the starting quarterback. But right now we have Devontae Wallace that's been doing an awesome job. He actually was the backup for Landon Holcomb last year. And Landon is actually vying for a starting job at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and he got the arm of Peyton Manning or anybody you say. But one thing that I do say is our system should be able to get us back to where we need to be. We also have a sophomore, Antoine Miller. He's a big-time DN, but he played quarterback for us over the last couple of years, and he's actually got a cannon too. He's a starting pitcher for Coach Stinson there. So he got a big-time arm, but he just received his first offer as a DN.
Okay, Coach, bouncing off what Chris said, you guys lost like 10 players. So offensively and defensively, are your guys reaching that point to where you're satisfied right now?
Well, I'm not satisfied yet because I don't want to peak too early. So I don't want to be peaking out right now. If we're peaking out right now, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But just based on working for the great Coach Samples at Duncanville for years, he does this, and I did this when I first got here. That was the easiest way to turn a program around. You put your best players on defense. The defensive coordinator got 11 players he can choose from, no matter who it is. So that's why Courtney actually played defense his first year I got here. So no matter who it is, we're going to put our best players on defense. And then after that, offense takes the rest. The only person that the offense coordinator get a chance to pick is the quarterback. So now, when we did that, we built our team on that solid foundation. So over the last couple of years, if you notice our average points against, we average about 14. So much so that our defense coordinator got the head job at Watson Chapel because we had such a good defense. Moving into this year, same thing. We're going to have probably one of the best defenses coming back in the state. So that'll hold us up for offense for a while.
So, Coach, we talk about talent, and there's been a lot of talk about, quote-unquote, the transfer portal this week and that kind of thing. Obviously, there's quite a rivalry that exists, but from Dixon all the way down 530 to Pine Bluff. Yeah. You guys as players and coach, talk about the pride of playing for Pine Bluff and keeping those kids in Pine Bluff, because I know it's been a big talk. You got Watson, you got Whitehall, you got Mills, guys that bounce around between those schools, and now keeping those kids in Pine Bluff and how important it is to add to the legacy of guys like Courtney Crutchfield and Dindy and others before them.
And so being a Pine Bluff alum myself and That's all we ever thought about. When I was growing up, you don't think about no other place. You just want to wear those stripes. And that's another thing. We're bringing back the major stripes this year. But we want to make sure that the kids know that this is the place to be. So just like yesterday, we had a camp, 346 youth in the community register. We want to make them understand that this is where you come to. This is the golden school of this area, not only area of the state. And if we can keep on getting those guys rotated in and out, then they'll know that, okay, when I grow up, I want to go to this school. I don't want to go to White House. I don't want to go to Whitechapel. I want to go to Pine Bluff High. And getting back here was the first thing mindset I thought of, like, okay, how do we keep our kids at Pine Bluff High? And that's what we do. Start off with the babies, start off with the community, start off with the Little League team, make sure they know who I am. They all know who I am. All the kids run up to me, Coach Mike Will, Coach Mike Will. Well, they do that because I've already built that relationship. So when they get in middle school, what other school will they go to? They're going to go to the coach that they know. And that's the secret for a lot of coaches out there. If y'all listening, that's the secret. Get the kids early.
Hey, Coach, you and I have had a conversation a lot about this as far as playing out-of-state competition. Now, you spent a long time in Texas. I spent 3 years there, and frankly, I love it when we kick their butt. I'm just going to tell it like it is, or any other out-of-state team. You guys play a team from Oklahoma. You play a team from Texas. Last year, you played Grenada, Mississippi. So talk about that out-of-state competition.
So our first 2 games of the year are on the road. Well, not necessarily on the road, but the first game of the year, we're going to Dallas, Texas. But we are the home team, but we are playing a Oklahoma team that's a really good, solid Millwood team that always have top recruits. But I wanted to make sure, first of all, people think that's because we can't find competition in the state. We can. But I want to find these young men more exposure. A lot of people say Arkansas football is not all that and Texas football, all that. But I want to make sure, I've spent 20 years there. I coached at the top level. We have just as good kids here than they do in Texas. Same thing, great Kimball School from Dallas ISD coming down, second game of the year. It's a home game for us, but we're actually playing at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, which would be a huge experience for our kids. We get a chance to play on the college level. Some of these guys ain't going to make it to college. I'm just be honest with you. But that's a memory that when they get up 20 years later, they can still talk about that. Because I still talk about stuff that happened years ago when Dedrick Poole and Little Rock Central kicked our butts, and I'm still talking about it to this day.
I know, obviously, the semifinal game with Shiloh Christian, that's a sore subject. You guys were up, and then, of course, they're always a really hot team in the postseason. But looking at the positive side of that, like you said, you got back to the semifinals for the first time in a while. So having so much talent coming back, just you had a loaded team last year, and it's going to probably be that way again this year. So what do you take from that and then apply it to this season?
So now, when I first got here, it was all about just making the playoffs, turning the program around, go from 2-7 to a winning season. The second year was to carry the torch team. They carried that torch that we started, and we got to a point where we're going to practice on Thanksgiving. We want to practice on Thanksgiving. That was the major goal. Now that we got to that point and we practiced on Thanksgiving, we got in that game up, 33, I think 16 at halftime, something like that. Our kids still wasn't ready for that moment. We came in, feeling like the game was over. But I've been in that situation before. I've been in a game with 60,000 people in the stands, and it's 3 seconds on the clock, and a Hail Mary, I lost it. In the greatest game, one of the greatest games in Texas history. So I knew the game wasn't over. So I'm trying to get our kids to understand that the game is never over until the last whistle blows. These kids been through that pain, and I think now growing through that, I think we're gonna make some runs, and they know how to handle it now.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you making the trip, and we also appreciate everybody watching the very first edition of the inaugural, whatever you want to call it, Big Miller Football Media Days presented by Chris Crane Hyundai and Genesis of Conway. You can go back, of course, and watch all of these sessions from all 3 days on the Natural State Sports Network YouTube channel and Facebook page. So, again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all to our sponsors, especially for the hospitality of First Community Bank here in Little Rock. What great hosts they have been. And again, we will see you next year.
See you. Go Z's.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas. We got